Now, if you know me, I've been very, very connected to my spiritual, whatever you call it, spiritual side for a very, very long time since I was a very little boy. I was very intuitive. I was taught how to read tarot cards when I was 11 years old. I went through a mystery school. I'm very intuitive that way. I do all of that stuff. Did readings for a long time. And so my work has brought me to, I'm a student and a teacher of A Course in Miracles for 40 years. And so that's brought me to a certain place. And I mean, your life brings you to certain places, and you shift and you change and you open and you listen and you learn as you go. Right. And so, probably about 5 years ago, I was brought to an author named Jed McKenna. I don't know if any of you know that, but Jed McKenna, he's incredible. And I started reading him, and my whole everything was shifting and changing in my experience of my life, and what I believed is real and what I believed is not real, and all of that. I kind of touched on that earlier today when I was talking about giving things the meaning that it has for you. And so I've read a lot of Jed McKenna, and he doesn't have a ton of things, but I've read stuff of his. And I want to read you just a little bit of Jed McKenna. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. All right. So I'm going to read you a little bit. So listen to this. This is Wisdom Wednesday. So a little wisdom. Well, it's not my wisdom, but it is my wisdom. But whatever. Okay. So listen to this. Yes. Okay. That's well, and if you're interested in Jed McKenna, I highly suggest that you do not read this book first. You will never understand it, but I'm going to read something for you. You need to read it in this series, but I'll tell you that later. Okay. So now just listen. It's kind of long. Here we go. Science is just another belief system, and a fundamentalist belief system at that. No understanding means anything unless it translates into action, change, and actual progress. Otherwise, it's just another evasive tactic. It's because we accept our meager illumination as full sunlight that we don't possess the explosive and self-destructive levels of discontent necessary to make a break. I need to just do one thing. I'm going to say that again because I have to highlight this. So this is all about freedom. This is all about freedom, and this is all about becoming a spiritual adult. So let me just say it again. This is heavy, but it's really good. Okay. Here we go. Science is just another belief system, and a fundamentalist belief system at that. No understanding means anything unless it translates into action, change, and actual progress. Otherwise, it's just another evasive tactic. Now, here's the good part. It's because we accept our meager illumination as full sunlight that we don't possess the explosive and self-destructive levels of discontent necessary to make a break. Not until we begin hacking away at our mental and emotional entanglements can we swim up and break the surface into the full light of wakefulness. And not until we do that can we understand in what a cold and miserable darkness mankind dwells. There's a little more. That's personal revolution. That's spiritual warfare. Take a deep breath. So most people don't want to look at the shit. Most people don't want to look at the shit. They want to get the easy answer to make their miserable existence stay mildly acceptable. That's the truth. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people to know this. And I know my egoic separated self only wants to stay at a certain level at all times. It does not want to do the self-destructive work that needs to be done, that doesn't need to be done, that is offered if you would like to or not, so that you can actually have true freedom. Most people are just complaining about what they're doing and what their life is, but their ego is not. I'm not going to say they're not, but their egoic or separated self does not allow them, and doesn't allow them to begin to do the work to blow it all apart, because it needs to be blown apart. It does definitely come back to what I was saying about giving things meaning. And when you give things meaning, you create a whole universe that's not real at all. And all of these things that you've been giving meaning to for your whole life, that you've taken from the world, that you've taken from religion, that you've taken from your experience, they're not true. They're just another story. It's a story on a story on a story about how you look, a story about where you think you want to go, a story about what other people need to do, a story about where you came from, the story about, it's all a story. It's all meaning that you're giving to it, right? So Jed McKenna really is saying, if you really do want freedom, you have to do the hard work of looking directly at your shit. And then finding out, asking yourself, what is your experience without it? What is your experience without the story? Take a deep breath. I just had to do that. Not look at comments for a second. Let's look. Very true. Taking it all in. Oh, wait. Max, are my curls on the opposite to a normal day today? Wow. This is really getting through to Sonia. No, this is the same thing. I don't know if it's reversed on your. This is what happens. This is it. I'm so glad, Tempest. I'm so glad. And I love it. That's just a story. You are strange. I love your strangeness. It's great. That's just a story. Who cares? So everything I just said to you is just another story. Mm-hmm. 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 Got it? Got it? That's why we love you. You're an author, and that was an amazing phrase. Yeah. So, this is what I do with people now. Thank you. This is what I do. Now, like I'm starting my immersion program in January, and that's for people that are ready to let go of their story and have freedom in their life. It's not just another strategy to do or whatever. It's looking at, who are you without your story? And this is what's happened to me. Because of all the work that I've done, my story is just like, it's like there's no Max really here anymore, because there's little remnants of Max, right? There's little remnants of Max, of course. But my association with the character of Max is like, because there's no me here. Well, I know we're going to get deep. So, but this is what I do. And this is what excites me now, is to really understand and really have people go, oh, fuck. Because if you just take another belief and then you learn a different belief and you go, I used to believe I was a piece of shit. Now I'm to believe that I am the light of the world. You're just changing one belief for another belief, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is a level of experience in freedom that's beyond belief. most of the time you're being taught to change your beliefs. And once again, there's nothing wrong and there's nothing right with any of what we're talking about. And I was going to say, and there's also an offer that's being made to everyone that's an experience beyond beliefs. The self-help world has made hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars off of helping people to change their beliefs. There's nothing wrong with that, again. But you get to a point where you're like, this is just a little rat race, and you continue change. Oh, that one's not going to work, so I'll do that one. That one's not going to work, so I'll do that one. That's not going to work, I'll do that one. And you're like, and then you end up being exactly where you were and not knowing the truth of who you are anyway. Because you're not a belief. Take a deep breath.